lock your arms down now and hold it. Lock your arms down, hold it, hold it. Good, smoothly release now. Hands up fully, perfect. Oh my god, that was a beauty. Well done, Giles.
And off on a little cross country. Get some height first. Get a feel for the air. See what's going on. People walking their dog down there. It's taken me 3 goes to get to this airfield today, because all the routes up the hill were somewhat icy. But we do a lot to go flying. So here we are, gorgeous weather, a bit cold, but we're en route to an older Second World War airfield. I tried this to do this video a couple of weeks ago, but it was somewhat different visibility. I'll probably show you that now. You wouldn't have seen the airfield for me to talk about it in any real detail. But with a cheeky little tailwind, we're zooming there today. I've got my foot stirrup today, just to give myself a little bit more comfort. This whole area of Somerset and Devon is strewn with legacy airfields, and the more I look into them, the more I get intrigued about why they were there, what they did, their history, what effect they had on the Second World War and what our country was going through at that time. And it all sort of stems back to when I was a kid in the Air Scouts, and we used to do little weekend camps on airfields, and we would run around trying to imagine what it was like, trying to find artifacts. It's amazing what you think your life was like as a kid, but then there was the cold, harsh reality when you grow up and realise what conflict was all about. But anyway, this airfield was originally known as RAF Churchstanton. And I've got some notes on this because there's quite a detailed history. RAF Churchstanton was an airfield from August 1941 to August 1946. Its original purpose was a deployed fighter base, but subsequently became in full use fighter base, and there were over 19 flying squadrons that operated over its 5-year period. Hopefully in the snow you can make out the legacy 3 tri-runway. The reason for the tri-runways, as far as I know, and please advise me in the comments, was it gave them maximum chance of taking off within 30 degrees of any headwind, because tail draggers at that time didn't like crosswinds. That's why modern aircraft are miserable trikes. So here we have what was known as RAF Churchstanton, and because there were so many airfields that had the word church in it, as most villages have churches, they changed its name to RAF Colhead. It is now a business park, as you can see in the middle, and as most old airfields seem to become solar farms as well. And I'm going to try and descend down a little bit, because there's a few other historians, and there's a link in the description about where I got most of the information from, so I'm going to read up on it. But there is still so many of the buildings, and if I pan around now, where my feet are now, between them, hopefully you can see that down there, is the old control tower. the old control tower is still here. What a gorgeous day. So anyway, this airfield was preliminarily used by the Polish and the Czechoslovakian airfields. And as I say, if you go to the description, find the historian link, it will give you the list of over 19 squadrons. There were 19 flying squadrons and several other squadrons that operate here, such as salvage squadrons. But as you notice, this airfield is in the middle of blinking nowhere. I struggled to get to my airfield today, and as you'll see from, or as you've probably seen from my other clip, the weather around here can be pretty horrendous, which makes it less and less viable for operations. Now, on operations front, as you can hopefully see in the distance, that's the south coast. So the majority of their operations were into northern France, or actually coastal protection details. And that was their reason for being here, was to just keep the convoys moving through and provide cover to whatever was going on in northern France. I'm going to try and duck down a little bit. Unfortunately, with the snow, you can't always see some of the glorious detail that's in of all the dispersals. The dispersal areas which are still there are literally in front of my feet now. But it's amazing just the history that is slowly decaying around our countryside, and the Heritage Trust that is trying to keep all these recognised for what they were and what they contributed. The actual, right towards the end, just after the D-Day, ironically, this was a glider training station. Because where I fly from was actually where the Band of Brothers launched from, RAF Artillery. The history that is around our country that we just don't know. We fly by it all the time. We've flying around here for over 6 years and never knew the history of what was going on. I'll probably do another video and I'm going to spin around, because 25 k's northeast of here, and it's 25 k's that way, is a place called, or what was, RAF Western Zoyland. Amazing name. And the fighter squadrons that were based there were actually kicked out because it was when the Americans were coming across. So they actually moved out of that base to come here. This station was very much a transitory, almost like a gypsy station. And right at the end of its time, RAF Colnhead became effectively a depot for stripping and repairing of the maintenance unit. And that allowed it to keep the broken aircraft going. But routes in and out, the roads aren't very big, so getting trucks down here would have been quite a task. What a glorious day. I've had a few people comment since I've been asked to talk about SIV on a podcast. No bragging, Anthony Vella, thanks for that one. And the topic seems to be coming up all the time about the validity of SIV for paramotorists. And I wholeheartedly believe that SIV has a place in our flying style. But you never know what's in this air, right here, right now. And SIV for me has played an important part on some of my my journeys. And it's not so much the fact of which way to pull the string, although that's always helpful, these strings, left and right, when to pull them, timing, so on and so forth. But what we actually understand our wing will do is their fear. The fear that's induced by what will happen if it collapses. Am I going to fall to the ground in a heaping sack of potatoes? I was called a sack of rotten potatoes by my instructor in Turkey.
Go through high jump, we're gonna try to do a same deflation, but this time you're gonna fall into it like you were a sack of rotten potatoes. I'm not saying you are, but if you were. Big deflation, lean into it, go. That's it, and just fall into it, dude, fall into it. It doesn't want to go, even if you try it to go bad, it doesn't want, it says, no, I'm not going to do that. That's how safe they are. Good, release please.
So SIV is a personal journey, and you can take it as far as you want. You don't have to take SIV to I want to do acro. But SIV for me was understanding about energy management, understanding what the wing will do if this happens, and I don't have to be scared of it. It allows you to increase your bump tolerance for those that don't like flying in the middle of the day. So I'll cut into a few clips here, and I might do a few voiceovers, but a full speed bar, full frontal collapse does this.
Full speed and then a symmetric tuck. Off we go. Perfect. Wait for it and hands up. Excellent control.
An asymmetric collapse does this.
Full speed on, asymmetric tuck. Go, dial. That's a big one. Perfect. And roll back on your course. Use the weight shift and use the energy. Excellent.
So here's me flying along with 50% of my wing gone, flying in a straight line.
The lagoon is now your heading. So I want you to do a big asymmetric tuck, hold it in, and fly straight. Perfect. Excellent. Look at the glider. 50% is gone now, Giles. Now still, you're flying straight, with not a lot of weight shift, I guess. Let's try one more. Release it again. Release it. Pump it out.
But it allows you to really, really understand that you really don't need to worry. All that happens with the high performance wings is it just becomes a little bit more violent. But clearly with experience, you won't be on a high performance wing until you've gained the hours and the knowledge to know what you're doing. And that for me is what SIV is all about. It's about understanding energy management, when to pull the strings, and to have trust in the wing that's above your head. You can still have collapses at any time of the day. You do not know what's in the air above you. The perception of SIV is it's going to scare the crap out of me and I don't want to do it. Well, that for me was the reason why I wanted to do it.
Lock your arms down now and hold it. Lock your arms down, hold it, hold it. Good, smoothly release now. Hands up, pull it, perfect. Oh my god, that was a beauty. Well done, Giles. Lock your arms down now and hold it. Lock your arms down, hold it, hold it. Good, smoothly release now. Hands up, pull it, perfect. Oh my god, that was a beauty. Well done, Giles.
But I did it far too late in my training. You could do SIV quite early on in your flying training. Between 10 and 30 hours. There's a chap on my course that had done barely 5 hours. But he learned so much from it. Every flight ended in wing overs, compulsory.
Excellent. Now, let's pump up some wing overs. We have a lot of altitude and it's all on you. Go, have fun, play with it. On the outside braking, you'll be fine.
Bak bunun wing over'ları iyi.
Ne oldu lan Thomas? Arnalı yazıyor.
You know that, go! You know that, go!
SIV is part of our journey, part of our training, and I feel we should all at least embrace its need to develop us as pilots. Anyway, I'll stop boring you. I've got a little bit of a headwind, so I'm going to get the trimmers set out and I'll do a hyper time all the way back to the airfield. This is going back to the SIV. 2 days into the course, we were actually discussing about what you do with the cravat. Cravat can be quite awkward, painful. No. Anyway, one of the launches in Turkey, in Ludinez, nearly a mile up. And well, it was all on one of these launches. I had to commit. You couldn't stop halfway through the launch. You had to keep going. And I get a cravat. So this cravat actually takes me 4 minutes to get out. As I'm launching away, I've got about 10 minutes before I'm over the water. I'm launching away, and it's there. I've got to go. I've got to keep going. Anyway, I managed to fly away safely, control the wing, keep course, deal with the situation. So for 4 minutes, I'm collapsing the outside tip, bumping the brake, pulling the stubborn line repeatedly in more, not vigorous, but just more assertive ways, longer, harder pumps, and eventually, look at that pops out. So that's a prime reason for understanding what you can do with the wing. If you get it from that, it's not the world has ended. It then teaches you how to actually deal with these situations. Anyway, I've been long enough in the air. I'm not cold yet, but I don't want to land cold. And the wind is picking up a little bit. As you can see, I'm almost parked overhead. So at this point, I'm going to come in and land. Engine off, out of the seat. Swoopy! I think I caught the windsock there. Da-doing! Yeah, I caught the windsock. Oi! Bit of cobra. Can I cobra it? Can I go? Oh, no, I can't. Hope you enjoyed this short video. A bit of history, a bit of stuff about SIV. If you need to know anything, I'll bung a load of information in the description. But I finally got my cup of tea. I like my tea. But until the next time, fly safe.